Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you may be. Oh, two hands on the wheel, Rupanuga Prabhu, thank you very much. And dear devotees, obeisances to you. We are here on Facebook, we're here on Zoom, and we're here in the recorded version. To all of you good souls, my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, yes, and brief Vandeham, yes. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha. Hare Krishna. So yesterday and today, depending where you are and which calendar you look at, was, is, will be, maybe, Shivaratri. And so the day of specifically the worship of Lord Shiva. Okay. All right. It's the day of the worship of Lord Shiva. And of course, we were there for many years in India and in Nabadwip for Shivaratri, in other places also for Shivaratri, but principally in Nabadwip. Hare Krishna, good morning, Govinda Govinda. And Shivaratri is a day which is noticeable in, well, where I've been in India, where in particular, the young girls, they come to worship Shiva, they come with offerings, they come nicely dressed and specifically asking for a good husband. Such is the Shivaratri, like reputation in India, but everybody comes to Shiva, the traditional persons, they come with some offerings, and unfortunately, largely the mood is, give me something, this idea that Shiva is easily pleased and I can come to Shiva, I can give just a little bit, a few little things to him and ask him for a lot. So unfortunately, this has become the reputation, if you like. And in another way, also, unfortunately, Shiva is worshipped because of the attraction by many to the intoxicating substances. And they are thinking, oh, Shiva, he's taking ganja, so we also take ganja and think of Shiva. However, Shiva, he is in charge of tama-guna. That means in charge of the mode of ignorance, of additionally covering over, making a thick, thick cover over our consciousness, over the soul, the actual conscious living spark, which, as Srila Guru Maharaj says, if we get a glimpse of our own real self, we will be astounded. What to speak of getting a glimpse of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, the origin of all consciousness, super consciousness. So Lord Shiva, he's in charge of tama-guna. Tama-guna means the mode of ignorance. I think mostly all of us here know this. But tama-guna, then raja-guna is passion, and sattva-guna is goodness. And Shiva's in charge of the mode of tama-guna, ignorance, Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of raja-guna, the passion, and Lord Vishnu is in charge of sattva-guna, which is the peaceful side, the self-satisfaction side. And this way, these three modes of nature, then everything is made up of these three modes of nature within the material world. And we do want to keep away from tama-guna. So if we're going to come to the master of tama-guna, we could perhaps come with a different request than to get covered deeper and deeper in tama-guna. And instead, as he's the master, we could say, oh, maybe you could help us kindly to get out from tama-guna and the lower modes of nature. Anyhow, the healthy prayer has been given by Srila Gurudev. The healthy prayer has been given by Srila Guru Maharaj. How to see Krishna, but how to see Shiva. And if I'm very smart, I'm using a different setup of the computer by the grace of the devotees just now, using a little different setup of the computer. And let's see whether I can quickly find the two prayers in particular which have been recommended to us to chant to Lord Shiva. And one is, okay, I've got, one is the pranam mantra, and I can read what it says. This is on the Math website, scsmat.com, and on the link for today, it has Shiva's pranam mantra, composition by Srila Bhaktisundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, updated by His Divine Grace himself, 28th of March 2003, for the worship of Lord Shiva. Srila Gurudev composed this just before the installation of Lord Shiva here beside Sri Govinda Kund, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Nabadwip. And it is there in Bengali, which one or two of you may or may not be able to read, but it is there with the transliteration. And the transliteration is, and I used to know this by heart, when we were in Nabadwip, we would come to Shiva and give this prayer to him, the Vaishnava Shiva. So the prayer, Devadi Devam Ahibhushanam Indukasham Panchananam Pashupating Varadang Prasannam Gangadharang Pranatapalakama Shutosham Vande Sadashiva Hari Priya Chandra Maulim. And the translation, the chief of the devas, whose body is decorated by snakes, whose body shines like the moon, who has 5 heads, who carries his weapon known as Pashupat, who gives boons, who is of satisfied nature, who holds the Ganga on his head, who maintains those who give obeisance to him, who is easily pleased. I offer my obeisances to Sadashiva, who is dear to Hari, and whose crown is the moon. Hare Krishna. And in Vrindavan, here's Srila Gurudev also explaining, you know that in Vrindavan Dham, there is Raseshvara Shiva, Gopishva Shiva, and many other forms of Lord Shiva. We worship these forms. We offer pranam to Gopishva Shiva in this way. So Gopishva, the Ishvara of the gopis, and we've known there is also Gopeshva, Gopi, Ishvara. So Gopishvara Shiva. So in Vrindavan, then Shiva, we'll read the pranam mantra, then we will get some idea. So this verse is from a scripture called the Sri Sankalpa Kalpadruma. And the verse, Vrindavanavani Pate Jaya Soma Soma Maule Sanandana Sanatana Naradeya Gopishvara Braja Vilasa Jugangri Padme Priting Nyachcha Nittaram Nirupadikam Me. Translation: O protector of Vrindavan Dham, O husband of Uma, whose crown is the moon. O Shiva, you are worshipped by Sananda, Sanatan, Narad, and all the sages. All glory to you, O guardian of the gopis. Please give me resolute and unconditional devotion to the lotus feet of the divine couple who play in Viraja. So the Shiva who is in charge of this material world, this is one function that he has to do. He's given this duty, this seva duty to do. But Shiva's existence, his highest existence, is there and in lady form. And I'll just read the paragraph. It is a short paragraph that Srila Gurudev is saying. Lord Shiva gives entrance to the Rasa Leela of Lord Krishna. And the Rasa Leela is the dance of, in the higher sphere. He is the doorkeeper of the Rasa Stali, the area, the arena, if you like, of the Rasa dance. That form of Shiva, however, is not a male form. In the form of a girl, a gopi, he is the gatekeeper of the Rasa Stali. And when we offer pranam there, we use this mantra. We ask him for devotion to Krishna and entrance to the Rasa Leela of Krishna. He gives that visa, and then we go inside the Rasa Stali. So, Lord Shiva has two positions. One as guna avatar, means avatar in charge, well, guna avatar, he's here in charge of one of the gunas, the modes of nature. So he has two positions, one as guna avatar and the other as Shuddha Shiva, the pure Shiva. We always respect everybody, not only guna avatars, manvantar avatars, or lila avatars. We respect everything. But we are in the line of exclusive devotion to Lord Krishna. That is our position. And in here, there was one, yes. All right, I'm just going to read a little bit earlier on in this article too, because Srila Gurudev is saying, everywhere there is some systematic adjustment. So Srila Gurudev means, for clarification, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj is Srila Gurudev. Srila Guru Maharaj is Srila Bhakti Rakkhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. And throughout the time of Srila Gurudev, then this is how the devotees, they affectionately call the spiritual master. We don't generally call them by name, the actual name, but by a respectful title. So Srila Govinda Maharaj is addressing Srila Sridhar Maharaj as Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj was understood throughout as being Srila Guru Maharaj. And in discussion with Srila Gurudev, with Srila Govinda Maharaj, then he accepted that we call him Srila Gurudev. So in this way, the devotees address Srila Govinda Maharaj as Srila Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj as Srila Guru Maharaj, this way. And just as Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, so Srila Swami Maharaj, the devotees address as Srila Prabhupada. So just for clarification. So Srila Gurudev is saying, everywhere there is some systematic adjustment. Proper adjustment comes down from Goloka Vrindavan. Transcendental knowledge comes down and adjusts everything. Everywhere in the Paravyoma Dham, the spiritual world, there are abodes and forms of Lord Vishnu. And there also Lord Shiva has a position. Lord Shiva is also Shuddha Sattva, pure truth. But when Lord Shiva comes to the mundane world as the master of Maya, then he becomes a Gun avatar, the controller of the material mode of ignorance. That position of Lord Shiva is not so fair. Now everyone worships that Shiva, the Gun avatar Shiva. But we are Vaishnavas, and we worship Shiva's form as Sadashiva in the Paravyoma Dham, in the spiritual plane. All right. Anyhow, today Shivaratri, and Shiva also, he's the best of the devas, Mahadeva, and he is the greatest Vaishnava. And the devotees, the devotee section, they come to Shiva when there's also time of disaster, a time of where we need protection. And an example of that is when Vamanadeva, the dwarf incarnation, cracked the edge of the universe with his toe, and from that, the waters of the Viraja river, which is outside of the universe, then those waters came in through that crack. Like if you crack a container, then water will come through. So water came gushing into the universe. And then everyone's in a bit of an alarm that this very powerful current of water is coming down from the top of the universe, where Vamanadeva's foot had touched the edge because he was crossing the universe with his expanded legs, and touched the top. He crossed over all the heavenly planets, and then his toe hit the top of the universe. And then that water coming down with great force was going to destroy everything inside by that force. And so the devotees come to Lord Shiva and say, we have an emergency. We can't deal with it. Please help. And Shiva said, okay. And he took and takes that water on his head. And hence Gangadhar, the holder of the Ganges, on his head. And many examples are given. Lord Shiva comes up repeatedly in the pastimes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we see Shiva coming up throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nabadwip Dham Mahatmya. And Lord Shiva, his appearance day, his day of special worship today, this is also acknowledged in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math with the temple of Sadashiva Gangadhar. This Shiva, the pure Shiva, the Shiva, you say the original Shiva, before he is given that task, that duty to look after the mode of ignorance within the universe. So that Shiva temple is established, Sadashiva Gangadhar, is established in Nabadwip by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. But Srila Gurudev told, I am including Lord Shiva's temple here, and it's in the back left corner of the Govinda Kund, opposite Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And he said, I'm establishing this here because I am indebted to Lord Shiva. I am the son of Lord Shiva. And in his honor, I will make a temple here. But this is not to be copied, Gurudev told. Said, this is not to be copied. This is my indebtedness to Lord Shiva that I'm making this temple, establishing this temple for his worship here. Hare Krishna. And in Nabadwip, then this day, the day of Shivaratri, then it's a Hindu day. So many Hindus, naturally, they come. I mean, Hindu means the general population of India traditionally, they are following the Vedas. So those who've got faith in the Vedas, then they are Hindu. And they may have, faith in different parts of the Vedas, but they all have this appreciation for the scriptures. And with this appreciation for the scriptures, then they come and they also know Shiva is easily pleased. So in general, as Gurudev says here, that they are coming and worshipping the tama-guna Shiva. But then Gurudev says that position of Lord Shiva is not so fair, is Gurudev's expression. But they are coming and worshipping Shiva in the mat, Chaitanya Saraswat Math, well, just opposite at Govinda Kund. And Gurudev said, they are thinking they are coming to the tama-guna, master of tama-guna, guna avatar Shiva. But they've come to Sadashiva Gangadhar, Vaishnava Shiva. And so they will get ajnata-sukrti by offering him their bael leaves, the Ganges water, the various offerings that they will come today, and bathing the Shiva Lingam, the way in which Shiva is worshipped. So they may come thinking in the general way of the Guna Avatar Shiva, but they are instead unknowingly coming to the Vaishnava Shiva and engaging in his worship. So that's a little bit about Shiva today. Hare Krishna. And we do have Paramananda Prabhu with us, and we have a happy gathering of Vaishnavas. But Amarinda is there with us in California, and a little further north, Bhima Krishna Prabhu and Istadevika Devidasi, and a little inland, Ganga Leela Devidasi, and
I'm right at the coast in Southern California. I can look at the ocean.
Oh, you're right at the coast. I've got the wrong location. Okay, my GPS wasn't working properly.
And yes. I have an anecdote. If it's
Yes, please do. We're all ears to hear.
My first initiation, you can see it before I changed my name each and every time to Gangalila, was into Arati, 1989, from the Shivananda ashram. Very classic, very established, very bona fide. I've studied with all that. And it just Om Namah Shivaya, everything's Om Namah Shivaya. And basically I felt I had more questions, and I began to outgrow the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta. And then, the grace came along, and Krishna's mercy is hopefully coming, but came in the form of that I can also take on the Vaishnava path. But that's my background, and that's just on the side. But in 2023, we were with the group. Paramananda was there also with Vishaka, and some of us devotees were in Nabadwip for exactly this date of Shivaratri. And I was so surprised. And for me, that was a real good moment to embrace also my history, like how I came to Krishna. Because yes, before that, it was Shiva. And so that was one part. And the other part was like how it was so, mind-blowing and heart-opening, and all these moments. And of course, like you said, the Hindus came, and amazing, beautiful flowers and leaves and offerings and incense. But on the other hand, also Shiva is famous for his damaru, bum, 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 the drum. And yes, in Indians always love their speakers and love to crank it up. But now India also has a little more money and a little bit more hi-fi. So they were like cranking it up. It was so bad and so nonstop, because another part of Shivaratri is to stay up all night and chant Om Shivaya and chant. And they did for night after night. And then I was thinking, yeah, Shiva, it's not going to be over. And it wasn't over. And, you know, actually we're part of, some of us ran away from all that crazy noise, because when you cannot sleep for 3 nights, you feel, you know, loca. That was my anecdote.
When we come,
Chintamani at night, she would like stomp over there where the sound came on. She's like threatening to pull the cables out, and and you know, that little scared of tall white lady, you know. They wouldn't stop.
I was
They
going
say,
to
yes,
say,
yes, 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 we will, yes, we will. But then next night,
yeah.
yeah, Paramananda remembers he was there too. Hare Krishna.
Assertion doesn't work in the Dham. In
No, it's
fact,
not the India thing. It's almost like I feel like some type of warped, what's the word? Piety is the louder, the more connected you get to God. I wonder if that is true. I don't think so, but
anyhow, remember that we are guests when we go, so we are seeing their, you know, culture, by whatever name you want to call it. So, you know, if somebody comes to our country, we don't expect that they're going to try to change our whatever the culture is. And in a similar way, we're going there. And we need to adjust to their culture. And it's not the only country in the world that likes loud music. But as you did mention about, they got more money and better better hi-fi, better quality sound. Yes, so it gets louder, but still, however good is the loudspeaker, it's like the definition of a really good party or a really good festival is you take it beyond its own limit so that it will distort. And when it's distorted, that's even better. It's like that. But anyway, to come from that, you know, just thinking about the music and the sound, then we also, when we come to the Dham, it's a reminder we have to see through the cover, because you know, a recording is not exactly the same as somebody sitting there, you know, and chanting with the dambaru, the drum, and chanting, you know, live. There's a difference between, you know, if we can say, oh, we don't have to go to the temple in the morning. We've got a recording. We play the Vandanam, Samsara Davana Liloka, and we'll go off and do something else, you know, with the recording, and that's the same. Not exactly. But anyhow, we have to see beyond or through the things which are obviously not the Shuddha Dham, the pure Dham. And so these challenges do come. But the loudspeakers, don't think that the loudspeakers before were any quieter, but they were more distorted and raspy, like very raspy. Now you've got a lot of bass, because bass is built into the loudspeakers, pretty much. Anyway, there's some first-hand experience from Ganga Lila Arati, some first-hand experience. And we must be grateful everywhere where we are getting our introduction, where we are coming to our proper spiritual journey. So in a mood of gratefulness. But yes, it's difficult sometimes to come to the Dham, the holy Dham, and we must be very careful, actually, when we come to the Dhams about our, you know, thinking and everything else. And it's difficult to change anything. And perhaps the loudspeakers got louder because of somebody saying, turn it down. A little reaction coming. Hare Krishna. By the way, we were doing Harinam Sankirtan in Ireland just a few days ago, and it was a little cold, a little windy, and a little wet, and there were not so many people around. But we were thinking, where is Chintamani Devi Dasi when we need her? We did think of Chintamani that time. All right. So Paramanandru is here, and he's been in Nabadwip during this Shivaratri. And one thing that also Gangalila did mention just now, that it's actually the day is a very beautiful day when, you know, everybody comes all dressed up and they come with their offerings very respectfully, etc. So it is simply a sweet day, but the night can be noisy. Yes, Paramanandru's microphone is on. We can see Mohanandru's thumb. Now we got your thumbprint. We can open up your iPhone.
No, Mohanananda, he's seeing so many devotees and he's overwhelmed. He said, oh, I don't know so many of them. How come so many devotees came?
Cheers.
Now he wants introduction.
Good morning and cheers.
Well, he's having a garam jam.
And in relation to Lord Shiva or Vaishnavism?
Nothing in relation to Lord Shiva, just garam jam, Maharaj.
Okay.
Nothing perverted.
No, nothing related to Lord Shiva. Too early for me.
In fact, I don't even know where did they get this idea that he's taking some kind of substances. I mean, really, where is this written in the Shastra? The only substance he took and handled was that ocean of poison.
Correct.
So if somebody says he takes this and he takes that, well, why don't you try an ocean? Well, don't try an ocean. Just try a drop of that poison, see if you can handle that one. And if you can, just stop saying that and stop taking whatever you imagine he's taking. Just in defense of Lord Shiva. It's all nonsense. It's Kali Yuga. People just we are getting more bewildered day by day.
Justifying what they do.
And we had the quietest Shivaratri here in Jodhpur, surprisingly. We were getting ready for firecrackers and bombs and fireworks all night, but it didn't happen. And like Mohananda just mentioned, that mostly in the Rajasthan, Rajput area, they're devotees of Lord Krishna. It's really a Krishna's land.
Correct.
Like yesterday we went, and the main temple in the city, in the old city of Jodhpur, is Ganeshya, beautiful temple, Lord Krishna. And we were so happy to discover Mahaprabhu Leela on the walls. That was, I have to say, it wasn't expected. But there's a beautiful depictions of Mahaprabhu dancing in front of Ratha Yatra, and so many other Leelas, including the Garuda Stamba, an old lady climbing on his shoulders. He's fainting upon arrival to Jagannath Puri. Beautiful place. And what can we add? We were recently in Surya Temple in Galta, one of our favorite stops. And we do respect Lord Surya. How can you not? But our main attraction to that temple is the love of the pujaris for Sankirtan, for chanting of the holy names. That's why we go there. And of course, no disrespect meant. We love Lord Surya and we pay our obeisances and we glorify him and Sandhya Devi. But we were talking about our vision of everyone who is in a, we can say, subservient position, but much higher position to us, subservient to Lord and higher than us. The demigods in general. And we know that Lord Shiva is the Devadi Devam. He is the topmost of all the demigods. Beautifully pointed out by Srila Govinda Maharaj. So we're saying, why are we visiting so many different places? Why did Mahaprabhu visited every single Shiva temple during his South Indian pilgrimage? He went to Devi temple, he went to Shiva temple. It is described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and happily danced and sung the holy name there, pay his obeisances and pay his respects. And at some point, Shiva and Parvati, they came, embodied, and then they had a conversation with Mahaprabhu, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentioned, no one knows what they've been talking about. So all that indicates that Shiva is indeed a Hari Priya, like Govinda Maharaj points out. And Hari Priya, this is our vision of every demigod, every higher living being that is serving to the Lord, that we know about. Shiva, Surya, Chandra, Kubera, and so many others, Indra. They're all devotees of the Lord, and this is how we see them. And when we come, we're not asking for any mundane boons. We're thinking, they're the Lord's devotees. What can they give us? Devotion. And that is our only prayer. So we're there and we pray for devotion, pray for talents and skill and blessings to continue our service life. Because they have that capacity. And repeatedly mentioned in the scripture, like for example, Vivasvat, the sun god. What was one of his main contributions besides, switching on the sun and switching off the sun, all of that, the duties, general duties. Through him, the Bhagavad Gita, that knowledge was preserved. The transcendental knowledge also passes through them. They are chosen personalities. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying that before it came through him. He was one of the parampara link in our line. And well, I don't know, want to add something.
We're having a good time here.
Okay.
Enjoying ourselves.
That was an expected addition.
Last night, we had Shivaratri done in a Jodhpuri style, which is on the background, the songs of Lord Krishna playing, and yet they celebrated Shivaratri in that fashion, not forgetting the Lord. Everything else is secondary and part of the play, but that's how they celebrate it. So anyhow, if you want to really enjoy Shivaratri, go to South India, go to Calcutta, go to Kashi Vishwanath. There you will get firecrackers and everything else to celebrate the Lord. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but down here, I think firecrackers, they only have it for Diwali and Janmashtami.
I would rather go to Nabadwip and stay near Gangadhar, Mahadev temple.
Yeah, he likes austerity, Maharaj.
I just don't like
firecrackers.
Austerity. But last thing I just wanted to add, that Shiva, and so many places it is described, in Chaitanya Bhagavata, he is praying to Lord Krishna. He said, why did you put me in this position? This is not what I wanted. I am your servant. I just want to be with you. You're the object of my worship, but you're always putting me in some strange situations, like the Shankaracharya. Why would I go and preach against you? But this is your will, what to do. And then there's some little trading happening. He said, well, I can agree on something that cannot be ever agreed, but I will do it for you. Like the Jesus did for the Judas did for the Jesus. I will do it. I will preach in personal philosophy, but you must grant me some boon so that I can be near to you. So this exchange is going on. And then sometimes Shiva is lamenting, oh, I'm so bewildered by this material nature that sometimes I have to give shelter to the demons who are absolutely against you, but they happen to be my devotees. And completely bewildered by you, I'm giving them boons, and they're attacking you. And then to preserve their life, their position, I have to go against you. I have to fight with you. So he's praying. He's saying, why are you doing this to me? I am your devotee. You are my beloved object of worship. Anyhow, it's inconceivable. Shiva Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Guru Tattva, maybe a few more tattvas that belong to the realm of Achintya. Inconceivable. There's very little we can understand. And Guru Maharaj, like you already explained, once Shiva touches the material nature, then it activates his guna avatar qualities. Then he stops being a Sadashiva, but he remains transcendental at the same time. How is this accommodated in our head? Inconceivable, impossible. So the safest position for all is to view them as the Hari Priyas, the ones who are dear to Lord Krishna, Lord Hari, to a different degree. And we know that Shiva is perhaps the dearmost out of all. That's all, Maharaj. That's all we have to say.
And Srila Gurudev, the son of Lord Shiva, Shiva was very dear to Gurudev and Gurudev very dear to Shiva. And by the way, we do have an interesting question from Madhu Krishna Prabhu, and he's giving his dandavats to everyone, and to all the Vaishnavas. All of you are Vaishnavas, so he's giving dandavat to you all. And he's asking, can you please expand on the enigmatic statement by Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, answering the question of who is the guru of the demons? And Srila Gurudev answered, I am. This is classic Gurudev. And Madhu Krishna said, I believe that statement was made in Caracas. And our malady, Hridaya Daurbalya, weakness of the heart. So Madhu Krishna, in a you can say a safe way to answer the question is that there are devotees and there are demons. Kind of two categories, and the demons are the exploiters, those who are basically either forgetting the Lord or trying to use him in their service, they're exploiting nature. And so the demoniac is on one side, the exploiters, and the devotees, those who want to serve the Lord and give full acknowledgement to the Lord for everything. Those who want to serve the Lord, they are the devotees. So the devotees, they have their guru section. Everybody needs a teacher. This is the point. We all need a spiritual teacher, somebody who can bring us upwards from whatever position we are. And Srila Gurudev, he could mix with the non-devotees and make them into devotees by his affection, by his presence, by his guidance. So where we draw the line of the, when we think of demons, we tend to think of, horrible looking figures with, pitchforks and all sorts of other things and horns, maybe, very like hellish sort of appearance. But what do we have in our mind about a demon? I mean, what does Srila Gurudev, what does the scriptures, Srila Prabhupada in particular, we can say, the demoniac is either the demons or devotees. And Srila Prabhupada can be very heavy about, us. And I remember, reading his books and talking about the demons and the demoniac nature. I think, well, it's me. So, Srila Gurudev, indeed, the guru of the demons. But Srila Gurudev there was more to him than we see. And this is true of the Dham, this is true of Shiva, this is true everywhere. And Srila Gurudev had, a real relationship with the demoniac side and the ghost side. And he didn't only talk with ghosts, the ghosts coming and serving Gurudev and help and giving him information and so many things. So Gurudev, he also didn't need a telephone and etc. for lots of things. He's asking the ghosts to help him out. So anyway, we are the evidence, if you like, that, who is the guru of the demons? Gurudev, also a transcendental humorist, and he's saying, I am. Hare Krishna. And Madhu Krishna, yes, Prabhu, happily. And we are told, the scriptures tell us, and it is so, there are 7 upper planetary systems, 7 lower planetary systems, and that we are in the middle and we get some hint of the upper planetary systems here on Earth, and we get some hint of the lower planetary systems here on Earth. So it is not that everybody has exactly the same mood in the middle planetary system and everyone has exactly the same mood everywhere. We know that there is variety, and in the middle planetary systems we get the variety of the good, the bad, and the ugly. We get some variety there, and we know from devotees' experiences in their earlier life and things, being brought up in some of the the inner city, that where they're born and what took place in the inner city, like slum areas, whatever you like to say, but quite a different environment than, in the inner city rich areas, or in the countryside, lush countryside, or something like that. We see the variety of life here. And so there is that section, the Brahmana section, who have their guru, the specialists in the upper department. And then there are those who can take from the lowest department and take the lowest to the highest. And by the way, I mean, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Nityananda Prabhu. This is Virachandra, the son of Nityananda, who is still, it is one of those big questions in my mind. He's described as being more magnanimous than Nityananda. And we are left wondering, how can anyone be more magnanimous than Nityananda? So this way, this current of magnanimity, this is held by Srila Gurudev. And you do need a magnanimous natured person to come to the ignoble, to bring them to the department, to the school of the noble, to give them entrance. And Srila Guru Maharaj would remind the devotees, say that we are in the same classroom as Lord Brahma and others. And remember what Guru Maharaj and Gurudev say, it is not exaggeration, it is so. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. And by the way, we have many memorable days in our lives. It's not like our experience, we did this or we did that, but still we can share something of going to Guru Shiva, the very powerful Shiva, basically it's on the way from Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Nabadwip to Hapanya, and you take a turn left shortly before Hapanya. When you're on the road, you go up there, and there is the Shiva temple. And it's also walking distance from Vamanadeva, Srila Gurudev's appearance place. So this Guru Shiva is famous throughout the whole area. And on a certain day, I think it's not actually today, but there are other days. There are different days connected with Krishna and Mahaprabhu, etc. There are different days connected with Shiva. And I think it's another day, actually, where devotees from all over, they carry Ganges water from a particular place to Guru Shiva over a large area, which includes Nabadwip itself and across the Ganges, etc. And they come and they offer, make offerings to Guru Shiva out of all the Shivas in the whole area. Shiva temples, of course, which are many, but Guru Shiva is a very famous and powerful Shiva temple. But this is the Shiva temple that Srila Gurudev's father worshipped at. And when Gurudev was born, the news came to his father that, oh, your son is born. And then first thing he did was, his father was, he went to the temple of Guru Shiva, like in appreciation. And he went there to the temple. He hadn't seen his son yet, the baby, but he went to the temple. And then while giving obeisances for there, he heard from Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva told him that, oh, you have a son, your son is born, and he is my son. Like this way. And he said, the ladies, they put kajal on his eyes and all these things for protecting, as they do in Bengal, for protecting the baby from ghosts and witches and things like this. And Lord Shiva told to his father, you go now you come to me, but now you go into your family and tell the ladies, remove that. He is my son. I am protecting him. There's no need for any other protection like this. So Srila Gurudev's relationship was very strong. And we went there with just a handful of devotees. I think 2 cars. I think there was another car. There was a car that we are in, and there's another car. And Srila Gurudev went there, and it was a very gentle and sweet day. It wasn't a festival day. We were going to Hapanya, Shripat Hapanya, the appearance place of Srila Guru Maharaj, who worshipped that Shiva daily too. And it was but one of those very memorable days, and Srila Gurudev giving appreciation of the heart. He wasn't doing many formalities of mantras, this, that, and the other. He worshipped Shiva through the pujari, the way that we worship the Lord. We worship the Lord not actually directly. We must come through his associates who are there. And we may be very dear to the king, but we will come through his associates to the king. And so the pujari there, pious, very pious, bright person, and Srila Gurudev giving the items for Lord Shiva to the pujari, and then the pujari is arranging, and just very simple, very sweet, but all the time, Gurudev's gentle by nature, but his gentleness and sweetness was just so great that day. And that the deities lower than ground level, it's an interesting temple. And I don't know the whys, etc., but the deities below ground level, and the pujaris there doing that service. And in a house rather than a temple, with not only a house, but a house with a thatched roof, which was very sweet. I mean, it's a house. It means it's his temple. It's only the place of the deity, but it's not with domes on the top. It has a thick thatched roof. Hare Krishna. Yes, Nityananda, Madhu Krishna was saying, Nityananda Shakti. And name more magnanimous, the lens upon lens, the telescopic system. Yes. Hare Krishna. And Seva Rupa in South Africa. To the South Africans, what would you like to comment? Anything about Lord Shiva? You are a Hindu lady, but actually you're a Vaishnava lady. Her mother, she's one of the fortunate ones. She lives in a family of devotees and a pious background. Any Shiva comment from South Africa? Not South Africa, from planet Earth, from a devotee.
And that's dear devotees. Okay, so I did grow up with my my aunt, and in their family, yes, they did follow the Hindu traditions. And I do remember I was speaking to a friend that I met yesterday at the school, and she was just saying when we were younger, we would go to the Shiva temple and observe Shivaratri, where you'd stay up the whole night and fast. But we also didn't know why we were doing it. We were just like following because that was what our parents or, our guardians and that had like told us to do, or what was done. But also like grateful that I also have had the connection with Krishna consciousness. So yes, there are always questions. And I think as you grow, and Gangalila Didi was saying that you do start to ask, but why am I doing this? Where does this fit in? What's the purpose? But I don't recall really praying for anything, just going and observing like everyone else and standing there and feeling like exhausted, and you're like falling asleep, standing up, and the prayers are, continuing, but you're not really understanding. You just, observing, and, everyone else is doing that. So yes, there was, but nowadays, I don't know so much. Even she was saying her son's in primary school and was asking his mom, what was the reason. So she was actually Googling, I think, to give him an answer as to, why are we observing, what's the purpose of Shivaratri. So, yes, that's what, but today it's, good to be with the devotees and always nourished by Guru and Gauranga and the devotees. Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Jai.
Mm.
And one thing also, we were kind of absorbed in Nabadwip on Shivaratri, but also have been in Vrindavan on Shivaratri. And an interesting thing for me, at least, I did not know the tradition there, but we've been several times to the Gopeshwar temple, which is the Gopeshwar, as we mentioned before. It is the Lord of the Gopis. Is not the tama-guna Shiva, but the pure Shiva, who is the guardian of the Rasa Stali, the place of the Rasa Leela. We've been there so many times, but then we're thinking, okay, Shivaratri, this day of Lord Shiva, we'll go and give our obeisances to that. But when we went, there was a big crowd, so many people, and they're coming from far distant places carrying water. As we were saying about Nabadwip, they have a tradition. I don't know how this tradition has come up, of a bamboo, a thin bamboo, and on each side there are water pots. Okay, fair enough. But also compulsory decoration, not with flowers, and there are flowers, but plastic flowers, as Gurudev would say, cheesy, like very obviously imitation plastic flowers. And they've got these like plastic flowers and a green plastic parrot and things like this. They're very cheesy looking. And anyway, they'll come to the Shiva temple, but they're coming with glass, small glass jars, containers, thin glass of water from somewhere. Ganga Jal, I can't say exactly what, I don't know the origin of the water, but they're coming with water from some particular place to offer. But they come and they smash that glass on the ground, and the place is covered with glass. And there's broken glass outside, going in, all over the place is broken glass, and people are cutting their feet on this glass. And I just was very surprised by the whole thing. And then afterwards, maybe I was a little surprised, like, what's happening? And just to illustrate how some traditions start, like Sevarupa is saying, we don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it. And it's all part of the festival. This is what they do. But this apparently began because there was one poor man, and he went to pray to Lord Shiva, and he was carrying the Ganga Jal, or the particular water, in this glass jar. But when he went, he slipped on the floor and it smashed. And anyhow, some of this maybe went on the Shiva Lingam, but when he went there, this is how it happened. He slipped and and the glass jar smashed. And then he won the lottery and he got like so much money or something like that, whether it was a lottery, but out of the blue, he got great wealth. And so this story went around. So now people go there and they smash the glass on the floor. And this is become the tradition on Shivaratri. So we must be a little bit careful about, traditions and where they come from. Hare Krishna. And there's a raised hand from Annapurna Devinasi, who is in Vrindavan. Please be careful in Vrindavan. I received your message. I'll give a reply. Yesterday we were out and about on seva duties. But tell us, Annapurna, what is your report from Vrindavan?
Прабhu, вы сможете переводить меня? У меня немного осипший голос, я прошу прощения, приболела. Я была в темпле Гопишвара в Гопешваре темпл. Сегодня утром, даже не утром, а где-то практически в полдень, там было очень много людей. Было интересно потолкаться в индийской очереди к Шиве. И видела эти бутылочки, они волшебные, конечно, наполненные водой Ганги.
So
И
Annapurna, just I think we need to ask Paramanand or Priyananda, one of our devotees here, to translate.
я спросила, да, он не ответил. Рамананда Прабhu.
Come ask.
Рамананда Прабhu, Дандавата. Вы сможете, пожалуйста, мне помочь с переводом всего сейчас?
Анапурна, слушай, я сейчас за отель расплачиваюсь. Надо срочно как бы выезжать. Может, Прианана поможет?
Да.
Прианана, ты там?
She's not here. I think she may be not suitable for her to translate.
My English.
I'm in the middle of paying bills, but well, she's just saying that she went to Gopeshwar Mahadev yesterday and
2-day night, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. It's interesting. Мало. В общем, гирлянды, которые мне дали, они сейчас висят в мемориале на Шри Гурудеве и на Шидхари Махарадж.
then they got garlands there, and then she offered them to Govinda Maharaj and Srila Maharaj.
Вот. В общем, мы танцевали. Я уже прислала видео короткое в группу.
And they danced for the pleasure of Gopeshwar Mahadev, and I think she already sent the video.
Yes.
Very good reports.
Okay, I haven't seen the video. I look for it's probably in the inbox. I'll look at it presently. All right, Hare Krishna, a little touch of Vrindavan down. All right, so dear devotees, today is Shivaratri, and we haven't forgotten the parampara, the 4 sampradayas. I know this is in the pending tray, but days keep coming up, and today is Shivaratri. All right, so dear ones, from the far east to the far west, the far north to the far south, and then always happy to be with you. And I don't know if it's a sunny day or a rainy day. I've got no idea what it's like outside. It's in the middle of the night on this side of the world. And I'm back here in Srila Govinda Ashram. I think last time we were in Ireland. Yes, on Sunday we were in Ireland. So now we're in Srila Govinda Ashram, back at home and getting ready for their anniversary of the installation of the deities on the 2nd of March. So that's coming on Sunday. So that will be the day we meet next, 2nd of March. We will be in our part of the world. And in the meantime, whether you are in Jodhpur or California or Thailand or anywhere else, our obeisances to you and good wishes. And as always, big jais to our Sri Guru Vaga, Jai Srila Bhakti, Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Rokok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai, and Sri Sadashiva Gangadhar ki Jai, and Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math ki Jai, and Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sri Purushottam Dham ki Jai, or principal places of worship. And Jai Shri Radha Madana Mohan, Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath ki Jai, Jai Shri Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai, all the assembled devotees ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Pinnandi, Hari Hari Bo, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. And to each of you,
Raja Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Well, to all of you, jais to each one of you. Keep on going, chant Hare Krishna, be happy, stay safe. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shiva Shivaratri Ki Jai. Ami Aschi.